Hi everyone, welcome back to Spoiled Rotten Beads. I am Juliet and I've got a lovely project for you today. It is called For You, because it is for you of course, and it is designed by French designer Puka. It's a beautiful bracelet. It's kind of like a cuff really, and it uses the Arcos par Puka beads. It's just so opulent and pretty, and it was really fun to make because you kind of make this long line of Arco beads here, which look beautiful on their own and I think would make a really pretty bracelet just on their own. But then you zip them up with the montes down the middle there, so these lovely sparkly crystal montes down the middle. So you can take this design if you want and maybe just make a simple bracelet like this with just the row of Arcos, or you can create this gorgeous kind of opulent effect by zipping up 2 rows with the sparkly montes. It's a free pattern that's on the website www.spoiledrottenbeads.co.uk. I will pop a link to the website on this video in just a moment, so do head over there and download the video. But before you go anywhere, I will say please subscribe to the channel, then you won't miss out next time I do an upload. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in a completely different colorway to this. This is the Baroque colorway. It's a kit on the website, but I have chosen some beautiful kind of cool greys and blues that I'm going to use to demo, and it's going to look completely different I think. So I'm going to flip my camera over and let you guys see my bead mat and start beading, and if you've got any questions, fire away and I will answer them when I check this video a little bit later on. I always like to try and get back to you if you've got any questions to ask, and if you've got any ideas for other things you'd like to see us doing here at Spoiled Rotten Beads, then just let us know. So this is the gorgeous For You bracelet. It's so opulent. I just love it. It has such a lovely feel to it as you run it through your fingers. It's really luxurious. I think it's such a pretty design. It was designed by Puka, the French designer, who makes these gorgeous Arcos beads here. And I just love it in this colourway. This colourway is called Baroque, and it's available as a kit on the website. It makes a really nice long bracelet, around about 8 or so inches long. So you can choose to make it a little bit smaller if you like, if that's too big for you, but it will fit most wrists. And it's finished off with these beautiful sparkling montes that are in the middle. I think you can just see the flashes of colour in them there. So this is the cyan colour monte, and they're gold plated, and it's all edged with Toho seed beads. Actually no, not Toho, they're actually Miyuki seed beads in this one, but I am going to make it in a different colourway today. Completely different, because I like to show you how you can take one simple design and then change it up just with the colours, and it will look completely different. So I've chosen these lovely cool shades here. So we've got this pretty colour here, which is a grey. It is called Opaque Grey Luster. So we're going to use this one here, and then we have got this tweedy blue here, which is it's kind of slightly mottled, got a kind of an antique-y colour to it. It's finished with a little bit of silver on the edges, but it looks sort of all handmade. It's really pretty. I think it will set off that opaque grey really nicely. Then I've got a black diamond monte here. So I haven't gone for the full crystal, I've gone for black diamond, because I think that crystal would have been too blingy with this design. And then I've got a size 15 seed bead, and I'm going to be using Miyuki in Duracoat Opaque Dark Navy Blue with this. And then I've got a size 11 seed bead, and this is a Toho actually. It's a galvanized silver Toho. And my clasp is this pretty little tulip toggle clasp, and I will need 2 size 8 seed beads and 2 4mm jump rings to attach that clasp later on. That's everything you're going to need. The pattern is a free download on the Spoiled Rotten Beads website, so head over there and just type in For You, and you will find it on the Spoiled Rotten Beads website. I will also pop a link to it on this video as well, so you can find that easily if you like. I'm going to thread up my needle and show you how to get started. You're going to need a size 10 beading needle and some fireline or some Dura thread in a colour that's kind of just going to blend in to your design, so you're not really going to see it. So I'm going to come back to you when I've threaded up my needle there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create 2 lines of Arcos beads like this here, and each one is going to be include 17 beads of each colour. So on this one I've got 17 grey and 17 of the blue, and you need to think at this stage about which colour you want to sit inside your bracelet and which colour you want to sit outside. And with this one here, what's actually going to happen is the grey is going to sit inside and the blue is going to sit outside, because I felt that the grey would have been a little bit lost on the outside, and it's going to look really pretty when it's got those montes next to it. They're going to set it off really nicely. So I've chosen to have my grey beads inside, and the reason you need to decide that at this stage is because the first bead that you pick up is going to be the colour that you want inside your bracelet. So my first bead that I'm going to pick up will be my grey Arco. Let me just show you these Arco beads, because if I just bring up the camera there, you can see how they've got 3 holes. And with any multi-hole bead, it always makes sense just to check the beads as you use them to make sure you've got no blocked holes at all. So just keep an eye on that as you go, because it's so annoying to make a big strip like this and then find that one of the beads has got a blocked hole and you can't go any further. I have just seen a mistake I've made. Look, I'm going to have to go back and fix that in a little bit. Look at that one. I forgot three of my size 15s, but I'll be able to fix that a little bit later on. It happens to the best of us, you'll be pleased to know. So what I want to do to begin with is I'm just going to thread on a size 15 that I'm going to use as a stop bead. So this will just stop everything from falling off my tail of thread. So I'm taking it down towards my tail of thread, and I'm going to go back up through the bead so that the thread wraps around the outside of the bead and forms a stop bead like that. You can see, look, I'm using smoke fireline and it's rubbing off on my fingers already. That's what smoke fireline does, but don't worry, it washes off, so it's not a problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my grey Arco. Let me just move my bead mat so we're better in a better place here. And I'm going to go through that hole there on my grey Arco bead. And then I'm going to pick up 3 size 15s. I'm just going to take that down towards my stop bead and go through the middle hole in that same Arco bead there. It'll look like that. Now we're ready for our next colour, and I'm going to go through the hole in the base of that kind of rainbow shape again. And you'll see that as I take this down towards my first bead here, they'll sit in this kind of, they'll sort of hug each other like that. And now I want 3 more size 15s, 1 size 8 and 3 more 15s. And then I'm going to go back up through that same Arco bead through the hole on the other side. So I've missed out the middle hole. I don't need that hole at the moment. We'll use it later. And pull. And they'll fit sort of snugly like that. And I want to continue that same pattern now. So I'm going to go back to a grey bead. And then 3 size 15s through the middle hole on this grey bead. Just going to move my beads out of the way. I end up in such a mess when I'm working. There we go. And then back to my blue again. So pick up a blue bead. Again, I'm just checking those holes. I'm just eyeballing those holes as I use them to make sure that they've got no blocked holes. There we go. And then it's going to be 3 15s 1 11 and 3 more 15s, and back up through that same arco bead there. Just pull that tight. I'm pulling it all kind of tight as I go. I want them to kind of sit snugly, so I'm just making sure it's as tight as can be. It will be a bit loose at this stage, but don't worry. When you keep going with the pattern and then start embellishing, the whole thing kind of zips up and becomes a lot tighter. In fact, 17 beads will seem really, really long to you at this stage, but you will find the whole thing zips up a lot as you add all the edging and the crystals onto the design. So I'm going to continue now until I've got my row of 17, just like I've got there. So when you get to the end and you've got a total of 17 of each of your Arcos beads, it will look like this. And what you need to do now is, coming out of the last Arco bead you added, you want to pop up through the hole, the empty hole, in the Arco bead before, the penultimate Arco bead, so it's the grey one in this instance. Pull your work tight as you go, and now what we're going to do is add in the missing 3 size 15s and 1 size 11 on the top of all of these grey Arcos. So I'm going to pick up 3 15s, 1 11, and go through these 3 15s that are already there. Pull tight like so, and then I'm going to go down through these 2 holes here, along through these 3 15s, and up through this middle hole and this end hole here, so that I can continue doing that. So let me just adjust my work so that I can get through that hole easily. So I'm going to go down through here. I'm just going to try and do this bit by bit for you so you can follow my thread path. So I'm going down through the grey Arco and through the blue Arco there. Just going to tighten up my work there. Okay, and I'm going to go along through these 3 blue 15s. So that's through those 3 blue 15s, and then through the middle hole of the blue Arco and up through the end hole of the grey Arco, and repeat. So I'm going to pick up 3 15s and 1 11, and then go through the 3 15s that are already sitting on the top of this grey Arco bead. And down through the grey Arco and the blue Arco, and just continue like we did before. So that's through these 3 blue 15s, up through the middle of the middle hole of the blue Arco and the end hole of the grey Arco. And this is, at this stage, everything will start to zip up and get a little bit tighter. You'll find you're happier with the tension after you've done this. So you need to do that to both strips of Arco beads, so that you need to do that to this one, and then you need to do that to the first strip of Arco beads that you made. So you need to do that with both of them. Okay, so I'm going to do that, come back to you when I've finished, and show you guys how to zip it up with the montes. Okay, when you've done that, you'll end up with 2 strips that look like this. And this is where I think if you wanted to, you could stop and you could just make a really simple bracelet just like that. Or you could maybe try going along the edges here and zipping up in between the 15s with maybe like a little 3mm crystal. I think that that would look really, really pretty. But we're not going to do that. We are going to zip ours up with the lovely sparkly montes in the middle there like that, and it's going to add that sparkle down the side. And before I do that, what I like to do is at this stage is just finish off my thread and add some more. So I am now coming out of this last arco here, and this is my thread from before where my tail of thread is, and what you can do is just thread back through that stopper bead and now tie a knot between your stopper bead and your tail of thread. So with your working thread, you're just tying a knot there on top. It's going to make it really nice and secure. I'm just tying a double knot there, and then I can stitch back down through here through to my arco and then snip off all my tails of thread. And I'm going to do that with both of my strips of work, and then I will be ready to start adding in those montes. So I am going to attach some more thread now. So I've threaded on my needle, nice long length of my fireline thread, and I'm just going to hook my needle down between two of the 15s in one of my inner colour of arco beads, and I am going to tie a knot like so and let that knot slip between two beads. And then oh sorry, I knocked the camera then, do apologise, making you all dizzy. And I'm just going to tie a double knot there. There we go. Make sure that slips in between the beads there, and I'm going to thread through so I'm coming out of the 11 there, and this is where we're going to add those sparkles down the middle and start to zip up these two lovely, so they look like caterpillars, don't they? Two lovely, I'm going to call them caterpillars, two caterpillars of arco beads. So I've gone through the 11, and then I'm going to go through the next two size 15s, and I promise I will get my fingers out of the way. There you go. So through those two size 15s. Pull everything tight. There we go. Okay, and now I'm ready for my monte. So I'm going to pick up a 15 and then go through the hole in the monte, and I'm going to go through and then just show you guys what it looks like. So from the back there, so I'm going across the corner of the monte like that, and the monte will sit. Position it for you like so. Okay, and then I can pick up another 15, and let me get my tail of thread out of the way there. I'm going to go through two 15s, an 11 and two more 15s. You might need to do this bit by bit. If you can't do it all at once, it doesn't matter. I'll put my fingers on this to keep it all together, and then hopefully show you guys what it looks like. There you go. So there's my monte sitting there, and so we're going to go all the way down the side of this one and add the montes here, and then we're going to start joining them up together, and the montes will sit and join up the two strips like so. But first of all, we just need to keep on adding the montes down this first strip here. So you pick up a 15, go across the corner of your monte. These want to flip over. I just want to show you guys what it looks like when I go across the corner there. And then you pick up another 15, and go through the corresponding beads on the other arco. So I'm picked up my 15, and I'm going to go through these two 15s, this 11 and these two 15s, and you may need to do this in stages rather than try to go through all of the beads at once. You can see how that sits so nicely. They will flip over like this one has, don't worry. It will flip back again when we're ready for it to, when we zip it up. So I'm just going to continue now down the edge of this piece and add in all of those montes. Come back to you when I've done that, and then I'll be able to show you how to zip everything up and how to attach the clasp as well. So when you get to the end, it will look like this. And you'll be coming out of these 15s here, and we're going to start zipping up down here in just a minute. But before we do, we need to add another arco onto the end, because this is the arco that we're going to use to attach our clasp like that. So I'm going to pick up the arco by going through the base of the bead like so, and then pick up 3 size 15s and 1 size 8. And the reason we're going to use a size 8 here is because size 8s have got a nice big hole that we can fit a jump ring through later on, and that's a nice easy way to attach a clasp. So I've picked up 3 15s, an 8 and 3 more 15s. And I'm going to go back through the arco on the other side. And then join this to, so she getting herself in a pickle, join this to the other strip of arco beads by stitching through these 3 15s right here on the edge of the grey or inner colour of arco. And then going through 3 15s and 11 and 2 15s. And now I can zip up these montes down the side of the bracelet. So I'm going to pick up a 15 and then go through the monte like so. Now if you have difficulty getting your needle through the montes, you may want to try switching your needle to a smaller needle at this stage, maybe a size 12 or even a size 13 needle. I've just picked up another 15 and I'm going to go through the 2 15s, 11 and 2 more 15s. So you may have trouble getting through the beads at this stage, and you might just want to switch your needle down to a size to a size 12 or a size 13 needle. You may find that easier. I do find that sometimes getting through a monte with a size 10 needle can be a bit tricky. You can see how that's zipping up quite nicely now. So again, I'm picking up a 15 and I'm going to go through the hole on that monte, and I'm finding a bit of resistance there, so I am actually going to switch my needle down, I think, to a smaller needle, because I'm finding that that's a bit tricky. But you're literally just going to go along zipping up in exactly the same way as you did when you added these. You're going to put a 15 and then go through the monte and through the seed beads again, and just keep going. And as you go, you'll find you'll zip up the piece, and it will kind of shrink at this stage. So it looked really long before, but you'll find that it will sort of shrink up quite a bit at this stage, and it will sort of begin to make a bit more sense probably. Okay, so I'm going to come back to you when I've done that, and I'll show you then how to finish off embellishing the edge of the bracelet, and also how to attach that clasp finally. Like this, and you'll have your wonderful sparkling line of montes down the middle of your work, and you attach your end in exactly the same way as you did before, with that last arco bead there and the seed beads on the end. And then you just stitch through your work, so you're coming out of 3 15s in between the arcos on the edge of the work there, and we're just going to add in a size 11 all the way down the side. So I'm picking up a size 11 and I'm just going to go through the beads that frame that next arco bead there. So through the 15s and the 11 and then the 3 15s, and then pick up another size 11 and go through the next, let's drop that bead down, there we go, and go through the next 3 15s and 11 and the 3 15s like so, and we're just zipping up the edge here, and it's going to tighten everything up. It's going to look really, really pretty and make it very neat down the side and keep everything together, and you'll find that again the piece will shrink a little bit at this stage. So I'm going to keep on going and come back to you when I've done that, and I'm actually going to do both sides. So I'm going to do this to both sides, and then I'm going to come back to you and finally show you guys how to attach the clasp there. So when you've added all the size 11s down the side, it will look like this, and it's really pretty and sparkly. It really zips it up, adding those 11s all the way down the side of the piece. And all you need to do to finish off is to use the jump ring to attach your clasp through that final size 8 seed bead on the end. Just repeat that on both sides and you'll be all done. So there is your beautiful For You bracelet, all done in the cool blue colorways, which just looks so different to the Baroque colorway that I did it in first of all. I think it's always helpful to see them alongside each other because you can really see the difference that it makes just switching up the colors there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do click on the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss it next time we go live. And don't forget to head over to our website where you can download the free pattern for this beautiful piece. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.